Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about something deeply emotional and surprisingly common. Why it is so hard to let go of someone, even when we know that holding on is hurting us. Almost everyone experiences this at some point in life. You may have ended a relationship, lost someone emotionally, or accepted that things will never be the same, yet your mind keeps going back to that person. You replay memories, imagine conversations, and wonder why moving on feels so painful and impossible. In today's video, we are going to explore the psychology behind attachment, emotional bonding, and why the human brain struggles so much with letting go. Letting go is not just an emotional decision. It is a psychological process. When we connect deeply with someone, the brain does not simply see them as a person. It associates them with safety, comfort, routine, and emotional regulation. Over time, that person becomes part of how your brain feels stable. When they are suddenly gone or emotionally unavailable, the brain reacts as if something essential is missing. This is why letting go feels less like losing a person and more like losing a part of yourself. One of the strongest reasons letting go is difficult is emotional attachment. From a psychological perspective, attachment forms when someone consistently meets emotional needs such as attention, validation, affection, or understanding. The brain releases chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin during moments of connection, closeness, and bonding. These chemicals create feelings of pleasure, comfort, and emotional safety. Over time, the brain learns to associate that person with emotional relief. When the connection ends, the brain experiences withdrawal similar to addiction. This is why missing someone can feel physical, intense, and overwhelming. Another reason it is so hard to let go is because of emotional memory. The brain does not remember relationships objectively. It often remembers emotional highlights more strongly than painful moments. When you are trying to let go, your mind may replay good memories, laughter, affection, or moments when you felt understood. This creates emotional confusion. Even if the relationship was unhealthy or ended for valid reasons, the brain clings to emotional highs. Psychology calls this selective memory, and it keeps emotional attachment alive long after the relationship has changed. Hope also plays a powerful role. Letting go means accepting finality, and the brain resists endings. Hope keeps the mind emotionally invested. Thoughts like, maybe they will change, maybe things will work out, or maybe this isn't really over, delay emotional closure. Psychologically, hope reduces emotional pain in the short term, but increases suffering in the long term. As long as hope exists, the brain remains attached, waiting for a different outcome. Fear of loneliness is another major factor. The brain is wired for connection and belonging. From an evolutionary perspective, being alone once meant danger. Even today, the brain interprets emotional separation as a threat. Letting go means facing emptiness, uncertainty, and the unknown. For many people, the pain of holding on feels safer than the fear of being alone. This is why people often stay emotionally attached even when the relationship no longer exists. Identity is also deeply connected to attachment. When you spend time with someone, especially in a close relationship, your identity slowly adapts around them. Your routines, future plans, self-image, and emotional world become intertwined. When that person leaves, it can feel like your identity collapses. You are not just losing them, you are losing the version of yourself that existed with them. Letting go requires rebuilding identity, and that process feels uncomfortable and frightening for the brain. Unfinished emotional conversations make letting go even harder. When things end without closure, explanation, or emotional resolution, the brain keeps searching for answers. It replays scenarios, imagines different endings, and looks for meaning. Psychologically, the brain dislikes incomplete stories. It wants clarity. When closure is missing, attachment lingers because the mind believes something is unresolved. Another important reason is emotional conditioning. If love, comfort, and pain came from the same person, the brain becomes confused. Toxic or unstable relationships often create strong attachments because the brain learns that emotional relief comes after emotional pain. This creates a cycle where letting go feels like losing both pain and comfort at the same time. Psychology explains that unpredictability strengthens emotional attachment, making it even harder to detach. Letting go is also difficult because the brain confuses familiarity with safety. Even if a relationship caused pain, it was familiar. The brain prefers known pain over unknown peace. Growth requires uncertainty, and the brain resists uncertainty. This is why moving on feels harder than staying emotionally stuck. Social and cultural beliefs also influence attachment. Many people are taught that letting go means failure, weakness, or giving up. This creates guilt around moving on. Psychologically, guilt strengthens attachment because the brain associates letting go with moral or emotional loss. In reality, letting go is not rejection of love. It is acceptance of reality. Understanding the psychology behind letting go changes how you see yourself. Difficulty letting go does not mean you are weak or broken. It means your brain formed a deep emotional bond and is struggling to release it. Healing does not happen by forcing yourself to forget someone. It happens through awareness, patience, and emotional honesty. Psychology suggests that letting go begins with accepting the emotional pain instead of fighting it. When you allow yourself to feel grief, sadness, and longing without judgment, the brain slowly learns that these emotions are not dangerous. Over time, emotional intensity decreases. Healing is not linear. Some days feel better, others feel heavy. This is normal. Rebuilding identity is also essential. When you reconnect with yourself, your interests, values, and goals, the brain begins to form new emotional associations. Letting go becomes easier when your emotional world expands beyond one person. This does not mean erasing memories. It means creating space for new meaning. Letting go also involves accepting that closure does not always come from the other person. Sometimes closure is a decision you make internally. Psychology teaches that peace comes from understanding, not explanations. When you stop waiting for someone else to give you clarity, you regain emotional control. Over time, the pain of holding on becomes greater than the pain of letting go. This is when real healing begins. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop hurting yourself by clinging to what no longer exists. If you are struggling to let go of someone, be gentle with yourself. Healing takes time. Your brain is learning a new emotional reality. Awareness, patience, and self-compassion are powerful tools in this process. If this video resonated with you, take a moment today to notice what you are holding on to and why. Awareness is the first step toward emotional freedom. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may be struggling with letting go. Let me know in the comments if you have experienced this before and what topic you'd like to explore next.